Hi guys, welcome to another Wargame Airland battle. This time we're playing on the map Alesund, and I'm playing with Apollo and KG, and we're playing against Thalionis, Blood and Adolf Gandhi. I'm sporting a British deck in this game, and I'm starting off with a load of infantry. I've got Fusiliers and Royal Marines in these cheap 1-point Pinsgauers, and I've got a couple of sets of mortars and 3 abbots because I'm expecting an infantry fight in this game. I've also got 6 falcons and a couple of track rapiers for anti-air and 4 scorpion light tanks to support the infantry, and then I just spent the rest of my points on more infantry, including some anti-air infantry at the back there. And I'm going to be pushing up towards the middle to this big town and contesting Foxtrot and Hotel, and I'm also going to be taking India with a CV on the way and holding a CV in Kilo. KG is going up towards Charlie, and he's got an American deck, so he's sending in a few airborne troops followed up by his ground troops. And Apollo is going on the right up towards Mike. He's got a French armoured deck, and he's going to be putting a few units into Lima to secure Lima, and the rest of his units, or the most of his units, heading up towards Mike. So let's get this game underway, and we're off. So normally there's a bit of a battle in the middle for Hotel and Foxtrot, so I am expecting, I'm getting my units up to Hotel and then unload them. KG's off on his way to Charlie, and Apollo's off on his way to Mike, and there's some enemy. Okay, quite a lot of enemy, a couple of planes, probably, yeah, it looks like they're going to napalm the road, and hit Apollo. Apollo just sees them and tries to move his units, but he does get them caught. However, most of these are armoured units, medium French tanks, and some Roland anti-air. So although they've been damaged a little bit and stunned, they're still okay, and okay to push forward and engage all of this lot from Adolf Gandhi. So he's got a load of infantry unloaded there, some Spetsnaz, some flame tanks, some robots, some anti-tank gun infantry as well. So Apollo's got his hands full there. On the left hand side, KG's had a bit of a skirmish with Blood, but has managed to get most of his units into Charlie, so has good control of Charlie. Now I've headed towards the centre and had absolutely no resistance as yet. So I've unloaded all my units unopposed, and I'm pushing my Fusiliers and Royal Marines right to the edge of this town. And once I get this town, I can just secure it and put a couple of CVs on there. Apollo in the meantime seems to be doing the bulk of the killing and the bulk of the fighting. He's looking okay, he's looking a bit thin on the ground. He brings in a couple of harpons on the left to try and help out, but Thalionis is bringing some units up, some BMPTs, some more flame tanks. Apollo does manage to stun them with a bomber, but they've moved forward. Apollo's bringing in some more infantry. In the meantime, I'm pushing my Fusiliers, Marines and light tanks up to this area north of Foxtrot. I think I did see a BMP I took out, but I haven't seen much action as yet. So I took out a 40-point tank. That's all I've done, armoured car rather. So Apollo's managed to get some reservists up here in the front, which is good. He's still got a couple of 2, 4, 6, 5 rather medium tanks, so it's looking okay. There's still a fair few of the enemy up on the ridge there. The enemy also, Thalionis here, does pop out some anti-tank guns which managed to take out my 2 light tanks, but as soon as these come up against these Fusiliers, they're going to get owned. So I am pushing up into this little town, this little group of buildings just to the north of Foxtrot. I have managed to place a CV on Fox and a CV on Hotel, which I hope will help my allies to the left and the right with points, so that they can, or at least so that Apollo can secure Mike. He has managed to push his harpons up onto the ridge and push the enemy back into the forest. So he's doing okay, bringing up some logistics trucks to repair his AA. Still got a fair amount of AA, probably take out these 2 yaks. 1 down. Brings in another one, just gets away I think, I'm not sure. But these Rollin 3s are really good, really accurate and really powerful. So I've managed to push forward and take these buildings, pushing my Fusiliers right the way forward. They are putting units now into the trees and into these buildings. I think they've realised that if they don't do something, I'm just going to push all the way into Delta and I'll end up in Gulf, so they have to do something. Bring in a couple of challengers. Blood tries to peek a couple of tanks across there, but immediately sees my challengers and pulls back. So KG is having a bit of a war of attrition with Blood. Blood's quite a good player, so they're just going to continue that, and he's going to keep Blood busy on the left, I hope, so that he can't flank me. I've got these Fusiliers here in case anything comes down the road. See the odd units, nothing too heavy. Bringing up my challengers, and I do keep pushing these challengers forward and pulling them back and trying to hassle the enemy with my artillery, but not doing anything too bad. Bringing in more challengers, bringing in some more rapiers as well. Meanwhile, Blood, he's doing okay. I think he's probably waiting for some more. He's bringing up a CV to take Mike. He looks in control of Mike now, so I bring up a couple of anti-tank gun infantry units, because they are starting to bring up armoured cars at least, and probably some tanks in these trees somewhere as well. They keep peppering me with the artillery. Really, I think they're after my anti-air more than anything else, but I bring up more anti-air, and in the end I've got too much there for them to really take it all out. KG is trying to push forward as best he can, but I think Blood's probably got quite a few units in Alpha, quite a few units in and around Bravo as well, so it's going to be quite difficult to push forward on the left. I'm doing what I can on the right. I do bring in some infantry in these Lynx choppers because I'm not sure what's in these trees. I don't want to get flanked on the right hand side. I push these ATGM infantry up, and I'm going to replace these Marines and Fusiliers up here. So I've got a bit of a choice to make now. I can either keep just probing forward. I'll also bring up some Chinooks to resupply these rapiers. They are pushing some units forward. I've got a choice. Either I can keep sort of probing, pushing forwards bit by bit, or I can do a big build up and push all at once. And I decide on the latter. I'm going to build up a big tank force, and I'm going to push all at once. And all I'm going to do here is hold them at this point, mainly with my infantry, but also I will micro some tanks backwards and forwards just to keep them busy so that all the pressure isn't put onto my teammates. So you can see Apollo's bringing up some more medium tanks into the fray and pushing these medium tanks up onto the ridge to try to take the ridge and this forested area which overlooks Delta and Gulf. You can see they've got a few tanks there now with decent anti-tank gun capabilities. I'll pull my challengers back, and I'm going to try to repair those before I use them again, and push forwards these anti-tank gun infantry just to hold their tanks at bay. And Apollo is pushing his medium tanks, and you can see most of these are elite or veteran, so once they get a sight of an enemy they're going to do some damage, and he's got some nice amount of anti-air up there to support these medium tanks should they be overflown by enemy aircraft. Bring in another Chinook there. This is really just to prepare these challengers and to fuel them up. Spot some tanks here, so fire all my artillery at it, and well, don't quite take it out, but I'm sure they're well damaged. More ATGM infantry coming in. So building up quite nicely. I'm happy that I can hold them at this position. And now I believe I start bringing in my tanks. So Apollo's got all his tanks in here. Now I'm bringing some more medium tanks, some Harpons and some Brennus. I'm bringing in a load of Scorpion light tanks, 12 here, and a couple more track rapiers and 4 more track rapiers on the left here. I've got 2 cards of track rapiers, and I pretty much bring them all in. So getting ready for my push. Okay. So it's looking pretty good at the moment, and Apollo is just mopping up the rest of the enemy on this high ground here overlooking their bases, and he will soon start to consolidate that position. There's another one there, just needs taking out. Meanwhile, KG continues to try to push forward in on Blood, pushes a few Abrams forward, but meets some pretty heavy resistance. So I don't think he's got the coolers there. They're deadly against tanks. Even though the Spencer's got a T80, he's got another chopper coming in, a BMP3, a T62. So yeah, these Abrahams are probably going to die, which is unfortunate. So he has a go, but doesn't manage to push Blood back on that occasion. Although he's doing pretty well there. So what I'm doing is holding in the middle. I'll split my Scorpion-like tanks up singly, and I spread them all the way along what will be the battlefront very shortly. I'll spread all my links along here. They'll have a job to do as well when I decide to push. And all these Pinsgauers are coming forward, and the Pinsgauers are going to be my first line of attack, and they're going to be split down into singles, and I'm hoping that they will absorb some of the anti-tank gun missile fire and the aircraft fire, which I'm bound to get when I start to push forward. I've also got some Chinooks. I want all these tanks fueled up as much as they can so they don't stop when they start to move forward. They're still probing, but I've got a lot of anti-tank guns in the front buildings now, so if they push any armour forward, they're going to get hammered by anti-tank missiles. More challengers coming in, two challengers coming in there, and I've also started bringing in my chieftains now. So I've got 4 chieftains there, 4 coming in there from the left, another 3 coming in there from November, and another 2 coming in there from Kilo. So building up nicely, getting ready for the big push. Okay, so we're looking like we've got quite a lot of units already. Push up some more anti-tank gun missiles, get my trap rapiers into position, pushing them up just behind the line of tanks. So in come the chieftains. KG still having his war of attrition with Blood. Apollo, well, look at all that lot. He's got lots of medium tanks there in that forest. I've got loads of tanks, and if we look at it from their perspective, they haven't got a clue what we've got. They can't see anything in Foxtrot. They can't see hardly any of the units that are in this forest here either. They've got decent defences against a medium attack, but Blood's well defended, as you can see. But over here, they're fairly thin on the ground. Back to my perspective, got more chieftains coming in, and now I start to smoke Delta in preparation for the advance. Artillery's going in. My artillery are just smoking the area, trying to cover up their ATGM infantry, getting ready for the attack, with more chieftains coming in. Okay, so take my word for it. When I attack heavily. I think we've got 58 tanks or something attacking all at once into Delta and Gulf. We will have very shortly. I think 44 of them are mine, and the rest are going to belong to Apollo. They're not rubbish tanks, and away they go. I start the forward march. Pinsgauer's going in, all my tanks, all my infantry, everything, all the anti-air, all attack moved forward, heading into Delta. And Apollo will follow suit soon. These aren't stupid spam tanks either. These are decent tanks. They're all challengers, chieftains, good, vetted up, medium French tanks as well. And you can see they're making light work. So I push the lynxes in. These lynxes are there basically to mop up any lightly armoured vehicles and any infantry that appear in the buildings. So the advance continues. They do what they can. As expected, they bring in choppers. The only answer really to a big tank push is to bring in choppers or to bring in a hell of a load of tanks. They're not going to be able to bring in lots of heavy tanks. They haven't got the points to do it. So the tanks are pushing through Delta actually a lot faster than I thought they would. The rapiers are doing their job. They are running out of ammo, but they're taking down these choppers quite quickly. I push these lynxes over to the right when they're now sort of left as I look at it from my perspective, to try to look for the CV and Echo. They bring in more choppers. It's about all they can do. Apollo's pushed his tanks down. I'm bringing this Rover CV in from Foxtrot because I want that to get onto Gulf as fast as it possibly can so that we can get units out of golf. Delta has been totally ransacked. Everything's been destroyed in golf. There in Delta, there goes the golf CV. So golf is now down. Soon we'll have a CV in golf. I hope. There's the rover CV. Into golf it goes. Now we've got full control. And Adolf Gandhi says, well, that's enough for me. I'm off. These lynxes haven't quite got a hold of this CV yet. They can't quite get an angle on it, but I do continue probing. And then I turn all my units around and we head across through Echo and Bravo. Unfortunately, I do move the rover CV at the same time, but I'll soon put that back. And in the meantime, KG has actually taken Alpha with his infantry. So he's pushed Blood back and taken Alpha. We get the spawn point back and we decide to bomb Bravo. So Apollo's the first in. Jaguars to take down AA. A couple of Mirages which bomb this forest here. I think he's guessing the CV's in there. Unfortunately it wasn't, but he will damage anything in there. He's marked up so where some AA is positioned. He sends a Mirage over to deal with that AA. And then I send a load of planes in, some Tornadoes, Jaguars and 3 Harriers as well. We're going to bomb this, get rid of their AA. The Harriers are aiming for this tree line here. I'm guessing the CV is over there somewhere. In come the Harriers. Bomb that tree line and boom, there's the last CV, 130 point armoured CV. So, good game, well played guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Please do comment, like and subscribe. Put a few comments down so that I know if you like this sort of thing or not. You want me to do something slightly different. If the games are too long or too short, I do them mainly at 2 times speed just so that they're not too long. But let me know if that's what you like. I'm going to end this with actually a bit of a blooper, which I did at the beginning of trying to record this video. So I hope you find that quite amusing. So keep watching right till the end. And please do comment, like and subscribe. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Hello guys, and welcome to another game of Wargame Airland Battle. This time we're on the map. I've fucking forgotten what the map's called. Fucking start again.